So, welcome to the 6th episode of the Xcast.
Woo-hoo.
Today is September 1st, and as always, I'm here with TwistaX.
Yes, how are you?
Pretty good, how are you?
You know, I'm doing good, man. I'm always excited when we have a new episode to record.
Yep. Always lots to stay.
Stay?
Stay,
Well,
yeah.
We could stay too, yeah, definitely.
We'll stay for a little while.
Well, we actually have two special guests today. You want to tell them a little bit about that?
Nope.
Nobody likes them. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Today we got two special guests. We have with us Solex and Kingdeke.
Hello. What's up?
Solex is the one that we're always talking about because of his piloting skills, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. And Kingdeke, I'm trying to remember, man. When did you join the outfit? It's been a while, hasn't it?
I think the day after launch is when I joined.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. It's been a while. Actually, Kingdeke is one of our field commanders in the outfit. Basically, what a field commander is somebody on the field who commands the troops. So they have a little more responsibility within the outfit, but definitely something that you guys need to look into if you're a member of the outfit currently and you like leading squads. Something to definitely look forward to in the outfit. Solex is also a field command. And Solex, when did you join the outfit?
Sometime during tech test, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember I'm one of the few people who never actually submitted an application.
Yeah, you just kind of got picked up off of a public squad, I think it was, wasn't it?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys have been great additions to the outfit thus far. So I'm going to let Painted ask you guys a few questions, kind of give you a little interview. I don't know, maybe not even an interview, just a couple of questions. Kind of let the listeners know a little bit about you guys.
Alrighty. And you did say that we had some questions to ask them, right?
It's like, so Deke, how many times have you killed Twista in the game?
Yeah. I think that's a good one. Yeah, we'll start with that. How many times?
I've killed Twista 13, and Twista has killed me 14. See, I just checked it last night.
That's all lies. I never team kill. You guys should not believe him.
Yeah. No, you're sitting on the other side of a base and you see shotgun pellets coming towards you. Twista's just sitting there.
Yes, the only people Twist team kills is Kingdeke.
Yeah, but when I check my kill board, it's like the person I've died to the most is Kingdeke, so I don't know. It's like water and oil. We just don't mix or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. So, Solex, when you joined the outfit, have you learned anything from being in an outfit that, stays real tight like we do, or what's your advice to a new player that's coming into the game?
Well, I guess I'll start with the second part because that's a little easier. I would definitely say to join an outfit first because playing this game alone is very, very boring in my opinion. And then for the first part, I've learned quite a bit since I've joined actually. I was never much of a leader before this, but I'm a field commander now.
Yeah,
gotten better just teamwork wise. Yeah. I
mean, if you compare it to some of the other games you've played in the past, do you think that Planetside requires more teamwork than other games, or do you think there's a comparison?
Well, it definitely requires more teamwork than, for say, a Battlefield game overall. Now, I did play Battlefield competitively for a short time, so obviously playing in a competitive esport type environment, there's even more teamwork going on there. But if you're just in a pub game, even with your clan in Battlefield, you don't use nearly as much teamwork because you're only usually fighting 32 other players at the most. Whereas Here, we'll be fighting 4 times our numbers and still hold.
Yeah, and especially with some of the changes we've had in the game lately, it's made it, I guess, a little easier for a smaller group like us to potentially be a good defense against a big oncoming, what we call Zerg.
Yep.
So, Deke, how do you feel if there was a new player coming in the game today? What's your advice to him? I mean, do you have anything different?
The same thing everyone's always said, just find a good outfit, one that you fit with, that you like playing with, because trying to just jump into this game by yourself is pretty much frustrating. That's why I ended up joining this outfit, because I jumped in the game and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I need to find someone to play with.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people had the same experience because Planetside 2 didn't have the tutorials that it has now, so it used to just drop you. As soon as you hit play, it would just drop pod you into the middle of the biggest fight it could find. Do you remember that?
Yes, that was so much fun. I remember drop putting down and killing several people before dying.
Yeah, that's because you played the beta, right? So you were already trained and ready to. You knew what to do on day one.
For sure.
Day one's the first time I ever touched this game. I dropped in as an infiltrator thinking I was going to be all sneaky and just died instantly.
What a noob. And you still die instantly.
We all die instantly on occasions. I would like to point out, though, that Solix is also one of the, I guess, leaders of the training courses that we've been putting on every now and then. And he helps, the rest of the outfit learn how to, do drills, shoot. And he's taught us how to, set up our mouse correctly, stuff like that.
Which I need to get back into doing more often for sure. Kind of been lax on that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's for a lot of you guys out there that listen to our show. We probably sound redundant because we ask some of the same questions. What's your advice and that. But believe it or not, we do have new listeners to our show that would like to know these types of little details. And I hope that this show is helping some of you players out there, and not I hate to see a new player come in and just get totally turned off of the game because he can't go on a kill streak like he can on Call of Duty or Battlefield or something. So mostly the advice we give you here is just from experience. And I used to lead the outfit back in Planetside 1. It was the same deal. I mean, this game is not catered to people that are lone wolf type people. You will get spotted. You will get killed. But if you're with a team, you can be more effective as a unit. And that's what this game is built for. And that's what Planetside is about. So, but anyway, so I got a general question. This is something a lot of our people or guests that we have on the show always gets thrown off with. And this is to both of you. So I'll start with Deke, and Solex, you can answer it after Deke. But if you had to choose one weapon for the zombie apocalypse, what would it be?
Only one?
Yeah. Man, I hear your gears grinding. You better put some oil.
Yeah, no. Well, I got two hands. Why can't I have two weapons?
Only one.
Only one? Yeah, it'd probably take like an axe or a pickaxe or something. Something that doesn't run out of ammo. Something's repairable.
A pickaxe? That's terrible.
What? Gotta kill a zombie, you gotta kill the brain, right?
I don't know. Pickaxe is kind of hard, don't you think?
Yeah.
Pickaxe ain't that bad.
Okay.
Plus, you can use it for mining.
Right.
Dig yourself a hole, make a base.
After the zombie apocalypse, diamonds and gold are going to be the currency.
It's like, I'll take a hoe. Solex, what's your weapon?
Well, being a military collector, I have thought about this a lot, and since you're restricting it to one weapon, that kind of makes it a hard choice. Because you see, my normal zombie loadout would be my Romanian PSL, my P90 submachine gun, and a sword, probably a katana that I have. But if I just have to pick one, I'd probably go with the katana, since it doesn't need ammo, and I'm actually pretty good with swords.
Nice. You got some swords, huh?
I have 3 katanas above me, from the 1300s to the 1600s, and a World War I patent sword sitting next to me.
So I knew you were Asian. Everybody thinks you're Asian, so that just proves that you are.
Nah.
I still got my NCO sword, but it ain't sharp. It's a parade piece.
Nice. That's from the Marines, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and that's what I think. Previous show we discussed how we have some military people in the outfit, so it's kind of cool to get their input on different aspects and how they feel about the game, and maybe use some of their knowledge, get some of our tactics based on what they learned in the military. It's kind of cool.
Yep, I've definitely used some military-type tactics, especially after talking to some of the people that have been in the military as part of our training.
Heck yeah, man. I think it's cool. Bring your real-life experience into the game and use it. It's always kind of nice.
It doesn't fit 100%, but you can make it work.
Yeah, Painted, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was like, well, I guess while we're talking about it, we've never discussed what we would use during the zombie apocalypse. So, Twista, what would be your weapon?
Man, that is a hard question to answer because there's so many things you could choose. But I think that, the wisest weapon, because of the ammo would run out, would be some type of blade weapon. So I would choose a sword also. Maybe some kind of big ass Conan. How do you say it? Conan? I'm thinking of Conan O'Brien. Like some kind of big old Conan sword, just where you can swing it down on him.
Wasn't that the sword of the father or something like that?
I think it was a big ass sword. That's what they called it.
BAS, big ass sword. That's what I would choose. What about you?
Me? That's easy. I would have a Ruger 1022 because I can carry thousands of rounds, and all I need to do is put one into the head.
But 22 ammo is so hard to find right now.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's hard to find 22 ammo right now.
When you can find it, it's like $40 a brick.
No, dude. No.
Yep.
I won't even get into that. That's like a whole nother podcast there. The prices are just nuts. Let's just put it that way. So if you guys noticed this week for the players out there and our fans, we did not have a game update for Planetside 2. Painted, you want to discuss a little bit about that?
Yeah, no game update.
Well, don't get too detailed on us. I mean, I don't want to lose people.
Yeah, I don't know how detailed I can get into it. From what I understand, there seems to have been a stealth patch. I don't really know much about that. So if you guys know, maybe you can enlighten me.
Yeah, and we usually create our podcast, the XCast, because a game update will come out. We'll get to play it for a little while, then we'll come and give you guys a rundown on what we like, what we don't like. But unfortunately, there wasn't an update this week. There was some type of stealth patch, though, that came out, and we're not too sure what was involved with it because there was no notes attached to it, and so we were kind of wondering. Some of the players have reported, I think Deke was mentioning this, that there was some people experienced a boost in FPS.
Yeah, I was reading a lot of people that were having issues with their FPS in bigger fights. They noticed like a 10 to 20 frame increase from post that little 300 meg update.
Yeah, it was about 300 megs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, Alexi, have you had a chance to play since that came out, or?
I have played, but I didn't actually look at my frames.
Yeah, I just got done playing, and I didn't even really think to look at it because I'm not too sure what they could have changed. I did notice, though, and this may be something you guys out there get happy about, I actually was able to close Planetside without having to Control-Alt-Delete because it crashed.
Shut the front door!
Really? It didn't crash?
It did not crash. I actually hit exit, and it closed my game. So that, if we had an applause sound, I'd play that right now.
I'm sure we can find one.
I'm going to find one, damn it.
Put that in.
Yeah. So, anyway, I hope that 300 meg patch wasn't just for that.
300 meg so you can close the game.
Right.
Because there for a while it got bad. It got to the point where I had to get out of Windows just to close the freaking game down. So a little annoyance, but I hope they fixed it. So maybe they'll give us some patch notes and we can see what changed. That would be nice. Cough, cough.
Closing the game's been pretty steady for me though.
Really?
It pretty much always goes to that one window that says this program has crashed unexpectedly. Click close.
Yeah. Yeah, mine wouldn't even do that.
Been like that forever.
Mine used to just freeze up, and my guy would just be standing there, and mouse wouldn't move or anything. It was pretty bad. I got a decent machine, too. I built this machine just to play this game, so, I just wanted to close right. That's all I want.
Yep. I got a beastie machine, too, but I still get kind of shitty frames compared to other games.
Well, I'll tell you what. This game is a beast, though. I mean, I know right now it's becoming redundant for a lot of players, and I hope that, I hope that you players out there continue to play and support the game because they have major plans for it. This is not where Planetside 2 is stopping. You guys need to keep showing your support out there. Even if you don't play, go take a break for a week, come back, try it out. Something may have changed. Or listen to the podcast. We'll tell you what changed. Is that right, Painted?
Damn straight.
So the next topic on our list of discussion here that we have for you guys out there in the cyber world is the Alpha Squad boost that a lot of people that were playing the beta were granted this 6-month boost, and I am not too sure what it detailed because you had to purchase, I think, pre-purchase the game. Is that what it was, Painted?
Yeah, it was buying the Alpha Squad before the game came out, and it came with a bunch of guns and 6-month boost.
The camo.
Yeah, I had the Alpha Squad camo. But there is the one thing that I would like to point out about the Alpha Squad boost is that it was a 6-month boost, and the game came out in November, and that 6-month boost is just now going away, and that's because they had to redo it. So when it first came out, it was only like a 10% increased experience and resource gain, but you could buy a 50%. And so people were just throwing away their Alpha Squad boosts, and they decided to go back and redo it. And so now they're selling. They started selling people the heroic boosts, which were 50%, experience and in resources. And then they just gave everyone who already had the Alpha Squad, they just gave them a heroic boost. So that's why it's a 6-month boost, but it's just going out here almost like a year after the game's been released.
Right. So what are the benefits of having the Alpha Squad anyway? I did not buy it pre-order myself, but what is it like? You get more XP per kill, or is it more resources?
It's the boost itself was originally 10% increased experience and resources, and then it became 50% increased experience and resources. And so that's been like that for 6 months. Like I have basically never played the game outside of beta without an increased experience gain. So I haven't played it without. But I mean, hell, when it first came out, I had a 6-month membership also. So I was running around with like 100% increased experience for the longest time. But I don't have a membership anymore. Now that my boost is gone, I'm a sad panda.
Sad panda. So the boost actually has to be activated manually, though. It didn't happen automatically. Is that right? You have to put it in your slot boost.
Yeah,
or something?
Yeah. You can only have one boost active at a time. Yeah. And if you can't unequip it. If you get a new boost and put it on, it overwrites it and you lose it.
Okay.
But I know that if you did buy Alpha Squad, then you're flagged. So every character you make will start with the 6 months boost. So even if I made a new character tomorrow, he would start with the 6-month boost.
Well, that's kind of cool. I know we had a player in our outfit that didn't even realize you had to activate the Alpha Squad thing. So he just activated his last week on his character, so he's good to go for 6 months. But
that's crazy.
Yeah. So if you got any players out there that are listening and you didn't manually activate your boost when the game first came out, you might still have it available. So go check it out. Yeah, definitely leave us some comments on the comment section of this episode. Let us know how the lack of the Alpha Squad boost has impacted your gameplay, and let us know, what you'd like to see done. If they want to offer it again for a little couple of bucks or something, give us some ideas.
I'm sure that they will offer it again, because I know that they've sold the heroic boosts twice, and I think it was during 4th of July that they brought it back. And so I almost guarantee you'll see it during Christmas.
Well, I bought one of the first 6-month boosts, and it's only got 30 days left, so I'm hoping they actually bring it back before Christmas.
They probably won't, but I guarantee you'll probably see it during Christmas, though.
Yeah.
And I guess while we're talking about that, the last time they did a deal on Station Cash, do you remember last Christmas when they had triple Station Cash?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I predict you won't see that again either.
Triple Station Cash? Really? Why?
Because
Walmart cards.
Yeah, because the Walmart cards, they knew everyone was screwing them over.
I don't know, man. I don't think I've heard that down any official channels. I mean, I'd like to see it again.
Yeah, I haven't heard down any official channels either, but I haven't seen it. The last time they did a deal, it was if you buy it through PayPal, you get 50% more or something like that. And so does anyone else remember that?
Yeah, I don't remember where I heard it, but now that you say that, I remember that it was, instead of doing the bonus deals straight in the store, you have to actually get the bonus from when you purchase it, or something weird like that.
I don't know. I just went to Walmart and got my cards.
Yeah, I got 3 cards for the triple Station Cast day.
I bet you guys are waiting.
No, I'm not. I'm kind of done. Touch back up on the Alpha Squad boosting. I haven't really used any boosts in the game at all. I've been grinding straight, XP. The only thing I've ever done is bought stuff with Station Cash, and I'm using the rest on just a little. Camo's not my thing, but I am supporting the game by purchasing Station Cash. But the boost to me, it's just why do you want to fly through your level so quick? I mean, let the game have some freaking, why do you want to get level 100 in 6 months? You should take your time and get there. That's my opinion.
I don't know. I'm happy with boosts. I've thought about reinstating my my membership before, just because I don't want to wait in queue anymore. Which, you know what? That brings up another thing to talk about also. If they are going to add all these different continents, and everyone else is going to, let's say a year from now, they have 5-6 continents, right? Then you're going to have a hard time convincing people that, buying a membership so that they don't have to wait in queue is a good deal, because you're not ever going to really need to, because you're going to have so many places to go to fight.
Unless that is if every time they get one of those alert things, they just start putting it to, oh, the alert's on Hassan today, or the alert is on Indar, or the alert is on continent number 5.
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially with, like, let's say that they had 6 continents out, and each one of those continents, excluding we'll say for the purposes of this, that Esamir has 3 tech plants on it, and then that's like 18 tech plants to capture. If it was like planet wide,
Right. I think that they're going to do away with the alerts of that type when there's more content or more continents. I think they're going to still do capture the continent alert, but you're right, tech plants are going to be insane. And if they don't, I think it'll make it interesting because that'll put fights on every continent. I think they should leave it in.
yeah.
And as the game goes on, as time goes on, I'm sure we're going to see more server merges, therefore making continents more busy. You know what I mean?
I was actually just thinking about that. As they add more continents, because I think the continents themselves are technically their own server cluster, then if they just keep merging all the larger servers, make one super server, I wonder how that would play out.
Yeah, because then, because I think the continents each carry, like, they can accept up to, like, 2,000 players.
Yep.
And that's regardless of faction. So, what is it, like, 600 players per team per continent?
Yep.
Something like that, yeah. I think there is a limit. I mean, you can't have, like, 2,000 TR in one. There is a limit per faction per continent.
Yeah.
I think it's whatever 1/3 of 2,000 is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's going to be interesting, though. And, like I said earlier to you guys that are listening, don't lose faith in the game. There's a lot of changes coming up, major changes that are going to change the gameplay. It's going to make it really cool. We talked to designers and developers, and they're giving us hints of stuff that are down the design tunnel. And you guys just have to exercise a little patience and things get fixed. It doesn't happen overnight. So definitely stick with it and join an outfit if you don't have one now, because it will make your gameplay a whole lot better. So moving right along here on our list of discussions, there was a big topic this week that hit the fan for Sony Online Entertainment, and I guess Sony laid off some employees from their Austin and San Diego offices. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about that?
Layoffs happen. I mean, I don't know. It sucks people lost their jobs.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, man. I've lost a job before because of layoffs due to the economy. And I think we were discussing with Deke before that he got laid off, and he's working, what was it, Deke?
I worked over in Tokyo for Deutsche Bank Group.
Yeah, so that could happen anywhere, I guess. So don't lose hope, guys. There's still a lot of people working for Sony, and apparently it's not going to affect the Planetside 2 development. It's not going to affect the new EverQuest that's coming out. Those are all games that are coming up, the changes coming up for Planetside. It happens everywhere. These companies, Sony's just trying to save money in certain departments, I guess. So they can.
Well, it's a business. I mean, they have to make money, so that's going to happen eventually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does. It's kind of sad, and if anybody out there is listening and you are one of the employees that got laid off, we wish you best of luck, and hopefully you stay within the game industry. Maybe you like it there, maybe you don't, but either way, good luck. Anybody else got anything to add to that?
Nope.
Yeah, good luck to anyone who's looking for a job.
Yeah, definitely. So, Painted, next, you want to get the next topic?
Yeah, sure thing. We are expecting some future game updates to come down the pipe pretty soon. The biggest one on the list is going to be Hassan, which, from what I understand, is supposed to be coming out in September. So, big deal. Everyone's excited and waiting for Hassan. I'm hoping that the changes to the resource happen along with Hassan, along with the continent locking and stuff like that. So, it'd be cool to see how it all unravels whenever it happens.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, on Hassan, I'm excited about Hassan. If anybody's, Solix or Deke, you been on the test server to try it out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was checking it out too.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that continent?
I think IRNV is going to be pretty valuable.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I really like a lot of the base layouts. They're completely different than anything we have right now.
Oh man, definitely, especially that interlink facility, dude. I went to go.
Oh hell yeah!
I went to go help What Now on one of his videos that he's working on his projects, and I actually got a chance to run around that place. My God, dude, it's gonna be some crazy combat there. Light assaults are gonna have fun.
Yeah, I got lost.
Me too.
There are those bridge things above that you can activate and deactivate to use as a control point. Or I mean, there's a control point up there as well, so you can deactivate these bridges and then hold off this room, keep people from even getting to the control point.
Yeah, I didn't get to play with that part. I did see the consoles. I just didn't even know what they did. We were just doing a little quick filming there, but you know, the biggest thing about Haas, and I want to touch on this because I know for somebody like you, Solex, you're an aircraft guy.
I fly a little.
A little bit, yeah. So the big changes on Haas, and to me, that are going to make it really substantial is the fact that those trees that are there, they're going to make the ground and the air almost separate entities on that continent. You guys notice that?
Well, they will and they won't. You'll have pilots like myself we have no problem flying through those trees and picking off infantry and tanks. And then you have the general population of pilots, which are either not that good at all to good enough to fight against a decent pilot. Though they will stay up above the trees while we're flying through them and then poking our heads up to kill them.
Yeah, I think that you're right though. The more experienced pilots are going to be on in between the trees or even on top. But the general population, the primary air fights are going to be above the trees. Would you agree?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be different. It's going to be harder for troops to lock on to those aircraft also because the trees are just going to be like hell on those rockets. So I think the pilots are going to love Hassan. I really do.
Yep, I already do.
Penny, you got any other things you like about Hassan that might change the gameplay?
Yeah. Speaking of the interlink facility, I did a tour of the interlink facility that I uploaded to YouTube. Did you see that?
I have not had a chance to see that yet. What'd you put on there?
I'll link it to you. I'll find it and I'll link it to you. But basically, I went through and showed the interlink facility off. The interlink facility is a pretty cool base. It's really, really big, and it has basically 4 wings, like a northern wing, southern wing, whatnot. And each one of those is different and affects the flow of combat. One of them even is supposed to be a wing that's I guess is supposed to be the first wing that the attackers capture, I guess, because it has this large underground facility where you can park your Sundies and stuff. So they're you would the defenders would have to fight their way to that facility to take out the Sundies. That's pretty cool.
So maybe the no deploy zones are probably a little different than on that base, I would guess.
Yeah, that was the thing I mentioned in the video, was that from what I could tell that there was no deploy zone. So we'll have to see, if that gets implemented or whatever. There was one other thing. I will remember it. Give me a second.
One. Did you remember it?
No. There was the.
We'll let you think about it.
All right.
But anyway, yeah, so far on the test server, though, the entire continent has not been unlocked, and I believe because they're probably still developing some of the other outer bases. And if you guys haven't downloaded the test server to try it, go in there, check it out. I mean, there's not really any big battles going on, but it's just kind of cool to see how the game, the path that it's going down, and the fact that we're going to have a ton of other continents coming in that are going to be really unique. So get off of Indar whenever Hassan comes out. Definitely get off Indar. Go fight on the other continents, right?
Yeah, you were talking about queues earlier painted. Well, when Hassan drops,
there's
going to be a big one.
You're basically not going to be able to get on Hassan for probably a while.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool, though. It'd be nice. And, changes always brings new players, and new players always make it funner to play.
Oh, I remember now. It was the Department of Energy. Zing.
What the heck? All right. Anyway, so another change that we're going to have coming down the tunnel is the changes to the infiltrators, which is going to be kind of cool. They're going to be adding in a new cloaking device, which should make the infiltrator 100% invisible. The downside to that is that the infiltrator will not be able to carry a primary rifle, only a pistol. From my understanding, you can use the pistol while you are invisible, so it's exactly like it used to be in Planetside 1. You never used to be able to use a rifle as an infiltrator. Is this something you'd be looking forward to painted, or do you like the way you're set up now?
I like the way I'm set up now. I will obviously, check it out. It could probably be, fairly powerful to be able to kill someone without them knowing you're there, especially with not ever going visible. I just don't know how they'll implement it, especially since this game, has silencers and stuff when the original Planetside didn't. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, the original Planetside, anytime you would fire your weapon, you would cause a silhouetting effect on your body. Like you would basically look like you look now with the current infiltrator suit. But every time you would fire, of course, you could see the muzzle flash. So I'm not sure. I'm really curious. Of course, they're going to be adding in the drone too. Did you hear about that, Deke?
No, the drone?
Yeah, they're going to be adding in a drone for infiltrators. So it's going to be some kind of remote control type thing.
Like just for recon, or will it have weapons, or what?
We don't have a lot of details. All we got from the devs is that it's going to be a drone of some sort. I'm hoping it has a freaking weapon on it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, you could always run people over with it.
Yeah,
unless it's really small.
Yeah, I'm assuming that I'm going to guess it doesn't have a weapon, and it probably kind of works like I'm betting the way it works like the radar dart, and you can spot people with it. So you can get high up there and just start spotting everyone for your teammates.
Yeah, what I have in mind, what I'd like to see is remote control, and it maybe puts you in a cockpit view like when you're in the Phoenix, and you can fly it wherever you want. Of course, you're vulnerable the whole time unless you find a nice spot to hide. And I think it should give you a bird's eye view, let you fly it wherever you want. That'd be kind of cool. I think that'd come in handy. The military uses that nowadays. Why don't we have it in the future, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Have you ever
good command tool too?
Oh yeah, man.
Have you ever played a game called Frontlines: Field of War?
I have not.
It was a game that took place in the near future, and the world is run out of fuel. So there's the West versus the East, and so the West was the United States, or the East was China and Russia. But the game had drones in it, and so the West got these robotic, the bomb robots they have today, but with a machine gun on it, and one of those little quadricopters, I think. But the East, they were all ghetto, so their ground drone was an RC car, the ones that flip over and can't be on the wrong side, and it had C4 attached to it.
Damn.
And their air drone was just an RC helicopter with rockets attached to it.
Nice.
It was pretty cool.
Awesome.
I'd take the C4 to a ground vehicle. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, people were doing it with flashes for a while too.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to put too many ideas out there, because then if you can't attach C4, that's going to be an awesome tactic. Hey, fly your drone down here. Let me put some C4 on it.
Yeah.
Right.
The possibilities may be better than we think.
You used to be able to do that back in used to be able to do that back in Battlefield 3, the early beta, but then they took out putting C4 on drones because people would just fly around suicide droning.
Oh, just going in. Were they taking out vehicles or just infantry?
Everything.
Huh. I never played Battlefield 3, so I know a lot of people probably dog me for it, but I'm just not into those small arena type games. It's just, I know I can go in there, I know I can kill people. I mean, that's not, it's boring. So the next topic that we have that are changes that we're going to be seeing down the road in the next, hopefully few weeks to maybe a month is the ESF changes. Solix, I'll let you talk about this a little bit, because it's Solix is probably the best NC pilot on the server that I know of. Definitely the best pilot in the outfit. So I'll let you talk about the changes that are coming up.
Alright, I do know a few NC pilots that are better than me, but anyway, for the ESF changes, the three main big ones will be the new weapons that they're attaching. There's going to be the mass driver, which is like a railgun-esque type weapon that gives you one shot per magazine. It shoots one under each wing, so it says two, but you only get one shot. Then there's the miniguns, which are very powerful last time I played with them on the test server. And it literally is just a couple miniguns strapped under your wings.
Oh, is that the one they call the Locust or something like that?
Yes, the Locust cannons. Couldn't think of the name.
Dude, I played with these the other day too. They're badass. It sounds like two Vulcans basically.
Yep, that's pretty much what it is. And then the last one is the Coyote missile pods, which are basically the same thing as the current Tomcat missiles. However, you have more in a magazine. I believe it's 6 shots. They also only lock on at a much shorter range, and they have a faster lock-on.
Well, that's kind of cool.
While the Coyotes will be for your short, kind of in-your-face fights, while the other ones will be your long-range engagement missiles. For a while, they were going to do the ESF reverse maneuver changes, but thankfully they've decided to go against that. And I don't know if you guys want me to get into that, but I can.
Oh man, dude, that's a hot topic right now. I mean, you've got so many pilots out there that use that maneuver, and I was discussing that with Luperza, or Payne and I were discussing it because we didn't know if that maneuver was put in the game on purpose or if people just discovered it by sheer accident. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, and I would more than love to hear your opinions on that change, or,
Alright, I'll try not to get too detailed into this because it is a maneuver that I use constantly. I don't know if you guys saw my last video, but pretty much every fight I use it in. To start off, as my brain just freezes.
That's how elite you are. It's built, it's hard-coded into your blood.
It is. I don't even think about when I do the maneuver anymore.
I think I just want to do the damn thing. I have to come to a complete stop.
I could show you how to sometime.
Yeah, definitely. One of these days.
As for if the reverse maneuver was originally intended, I do not think it was. I think it's pretty much like skiing in Tribes or rocket jump in Quake. I remember back in beta, before anyone had figured this out, you would pretty much just come to a stop and then push yourself around a little bit and just turret fight each other. Either that or you would do the more normal dogfight style where you chase each other around and the person being chased always dies. Then someone figured out, if whatever way the engines are pointing when I use the afterburner, it pushes me that way. And if I keep pointing my nose down at a certain speed, my engines don't go back to their normal flight pattern. And that's how the reverse maneuver was born.
So you're saying if you keep your nose down, that the engines do not ever go back to their position of being like full speed? Is that what you're saying?
Yep. To do the reverse maneuver, what you have to do is come within a certain speed. I think it's under 40 meters a second or kilometers, whatever. That's when your engines start to point downwards. Now, there's a couple other little things you can do to do it quicker, but the basic idea is you want the engines to be pointing down.
Right.
Once they're pointing down, you can give yourself shots of afterburner fuel. Now, as most people know, I'm sure, when you start just holding on the afterburner, your airplane will be pushed up and then go forward. Now, if you keep pitching your nose down slightly, and you have to keep doing this throughout the whole thing, the engines will actually never switch back to your forward flight maneuver, and it'll just keep pushing you around in that pattern. This lets you throw your momentum behind you, and even though you're not actually flying backwards because it's more of an up with kind of a pitch down, you actually do drift backwards a little bit. And
so you're flying backwards, essentially.
Yep.
It may not be intended, but yeah, I mean, I don't think we're giving away any secrets here because I bet you could go to YouTube right now and find 20 videos of how to do the maneuver. And
oh yeah,
it's not the fact of giving away the secret; it's the fact, can you do it or not? I mean, you got to be coordinated. It's not like it could just happen automatically. So, the biggest argument. This is a good question to ask you, dude, because I think that we've been needing you on the show for this particular subject because you're the only one in the outfit I think that's qualified. Maybe there's a few. I think Druxy, yeah. And this question here is, how do you feel when there's these people coming in, and these are experienced players, and they don't think it's fair because, let's say this new guy comes into the game today. He logs in, gets in his Mosquito, then he runs into you in the air, and they think it's not fair because this guy is level 1, he has no certs into his Mosquito, but then he fights somebody like you who pretty much pummels him regardless of the move or not. How do you feel? Do you feel that the game is balanced in that way to where an experienced player like you is on the same level with the new guy?
Not at all.
And I'm not talking about just rifles. I'm talking. Let's
Yeah.
just keep it ESF right now.
For ESF flight, and it kind of goes into piloting in general for any game, a much more experienced player will pretty much always destroy someone that's just starting out. On top of that, there's a cert difference. I think I calculated it out one time, and I've got something like 1,200 or maybe, no, more like 12,000 certs in my ESF right now.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's only at like 50% too. But anyway, that huge cert difference is extremely powerful compared to the beginning player.
Right.
The beginning player doesn't even get flares, for God's sakes. I mean,
You know, you bring up a good point. I think that should be standard on all aircraft. That should be an
Oh, for sure.
You know.
for sure.
I guess it's a hot topic because but you know, we discussed this last week or last episode with Lou Perza that any game is like that. And I'm sure, you know, Painted and Deep can contest that it don't matter what game you play. If you just installed it today, you're going to get your ass kicked, you know?
Pretty much, yep.
So it doesn't matter what game you play, you're going to get your butt kicked unless, you know, you're some lucky dude.
Yep.
So,
And then,
go ahead.
if I go into the reverse maneuver itself a little bit, there are the people that want it removed, which, from my experience being a foreign warrior, is 90% of them haven't touched an aircraft. And then there's the people that want to keep it, which is pretty much every known pilot on every server. The problem with removing it is the flight physics in this game are absolutely terrible. You don't have a flight envelope. You can't, like, push your aircraft to where it's about to stall in hopes that the other guy does stall or does something wrong that lets you get ahead of him. I know in one of my other videos you guys saw me chase the scythe down. There was absolutely no way that scythe could have gotten away from me other than one of his friends intervening.
Right.
So unless they completely overhaul the flight mechanics, something like the reverse maneuver actually gives flight some flavor. Because we're able to flip around and turn on our attacker and maybe change the engagement into a favorable way.
Oh, I agree, dude. I agree. And many times, you know, I've seen you do that, and not just in your videos, but even just playing, you know, live action with you. So if any of you listeners that are out there, Solex does have some videos on his YouTube channel, which I have linked on our Outfit X YouTube channel. So if you want to see his crazy flight skills, go to the YouTube channel. It's on our playlist. Definitely check it out. But yeah, definitely, dude. I've seen you turn the tide on pilots, and every time I'm flying a Reaver and I know you're in the air, or even if I'm in a bomber, I know we're gonna get, you know, be secure for a little while. And you're right though. That maneuver there could potentially, for two good pilots, could potentially determine the fight. Because, you know, you could turn around and fight back. And I don't think they should take it out. I think it was accidental. And some accidents turn out to be awesome things in games, and I think they should leave it alone.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know, I agree with you also. Whenever you brought up like the flight physics in this game, I mean, like we're basically flying fucking helicopters. You know, like you can't make the thing stall out. You can't make, you know. And
if I can interject for 1 second, my favorite description of the flight model is helicopters underwater.
It'd be a submarine, wouldn't it?
But I've done the flight maneuver. I've never tried to do it. You know, like I've never like trained to do it. But I've done it. I've done it before just because I think I've flown so long that I understand how the aircraft works that I could pull it off if I needed to. Like, it's not that hard to do as long as you are pretty familiar with how the aircraft controls. You can do it.
Oh yeah, I can teach someone in about 15 minutes to an hour to be good at it.
Yeah, I can do it when I'm at a standstill, but when I'm in like fighting another aircraft, I'm gonna die. I mean, especially if it's a good pilot. We'll touch back on that here in a second, but there is another move that you do, and I don't know if it's a secret move or not, or where you learned it from, but it's that one where you do the twirl and you get out and repair your aircraft in midair.
Oh yes, the dart maneuver.
Dude, that's insane. Where'd you learn that? Did you make that up?
No, I learned that on YouTube actually, and the guy called it the dart maneuver, so that's what I've been calling it ever since.
Yeah. So, do you want to kind of explain what it is, and for people that haven't seen the YouTube video?
Sure. Basically, in this maneuver, I still have a lot of trouble with, and I have a very low completion rate when my aircraft's on fire, but I'm pretty good at it when it's not. What you do is you pitch your aircraft up to a 45-degree angle. You then flip your aircraft so it starts spinning, once your wings are straight up and down, you eject out of your aircraft. You can then heal your aircraft while it's falling, and then get back in and fly away.
The first time he showed me, I was like, what the hell did I just see, man? That was awesome. I think Solix is the only one I know in our outfit that can do it.
I think one other person was trying to figure it out, but that's one of those things. It's like a Hail Mary. If I get it, if I don't, my aircraft will explode anyway.
I mean, potentially that's going to work if you're going 45 degrees of straight plane, right? Like straight to the horizon.
Well, that would be 0 degrees. If you look at the aircraft HUD, the straight is 0 and then 45 degrees up from that.
Okay. Well, that'll show you how much of a noob I am at flying Reavers.
It's all good.
Now, when I get in my bomber, I'm a killer. But yeah, Reaver is just something different. So, anyway, that's a hot topic, dude. ESFs. It's the same with tanks. You've always got people that hate our tanks, that hate other faction tanks, but the ESF change is going to be a good thing, and I think that it's needed. But the weapons, I'm going to touch on the weapons a little bit, and this is kind of a hot topic. So, the lock-on rockets right now, how do you feel as a pilot when you fight against an experienced pilot who's using the lock-on rocket system that we currently have? Do you feel that you win those battles more, or do you feel that the rockets are kind of cheap as they are?
Well, that depends. If you're an experienced pilot and you're just trying to use the air-to-air missiles in a close-in dogfight, you'll get what happens in my latest video, where this guy hits me twice, I turn on him, and then I don't allow him to lock me at all. Now, if that guy would have used his nose gun, just shooting at me, it probably would have killed me.
Yeah, so have you ran into a pilot who takes you out every time with those rockets? It just grinds your gears, or have you not really run into that?
I don't really run into any particular pilots that use them that are good. The general consensus for the air-to-air missiles is they take away from you practicing with your nose gun. So anyone that uses them is at a disadvantage.
Right. So because you're losing a weapon and a potential afterburner.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Now, they do annoy me in the fact that if I'm being locked on, a lot of times I'll think it's ground sources because I don't often run into air-to-air missile users. And if you don't know what is attacking you, it's kind of hard to retaliate accordingly. So what will happen to me a lot is I'll think it's a ground source. I'll fly up to a certain altitude, either flared or not, to try to then see if it's an aircraft or not. But the fact that the HUD does not tell you what's locking onto you or how many sources are locking onto you is really detrimental.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I hope they're going to make that change. Are they?
I think they're looking into it. And then the other problem with that is how the missiles currently act. You have 2 ways to dodge a missile right now. Kinda 3, but I'm not sure if the third one is that great. First is your flares, which are on a 25-second cooldown when maxed. That's several hundred certs. I think the last one's 500. The second way is to just straight out run it. If I have full afterburner fuel tanks, I can fly straight with a full burn, and the missiles will delock. The third way is if you're facing a pilot with air-to-air missiles, you can actually dodge it by using a reverse maneuver to fly up over the missile.
Right.
Although I'm not 100% sure that'll work all the time. I actually hardly use that. The missiles used to run into stuff if you flew around mountains and stuff, but nowadays they'll clip right through the terrain and hit you no matter what.
Yeah, and I don't really like the current implementation of the fucking pathfinding for the rockets, because the rockets will go around shit. You're like, dude, come on. If you're flying and you're going through cliffs and stuff, you should be able to make the rocket hit the cliffs. That's just how it should work. Yep. I mean, that's experienced piloting, to not crash into that shit yourself, much less, like a missile.
Well, I want to intervene there because I think the rockets operate correctly, because that's how they operate in our current time in real life. They lock on to the aircraft and follow it because of the heat, right?
Well, that's some of the rockets actually say heat seeking in their description, like the Striker I know does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that brings up a good point, though, because that's going to be our next topic of discussion, and I guess it plays into ESFs, because also coming down in an update is going to be a change to all the lock-on weapons. Deke, do you know what's going to be changed on those?
Yeah, instead of just fire and forget, you're gonna actually have to track your target through the reticle on the weapon.
So Solix got happy there.
Yeah.
It's like, so basically, if for you new guys out there, for new players, currently all you gotta do is point your weapon at the aircraft, and as soon as it starts beeping in green, you can fire, and then you can just turn and do something else. The new change is going to require you to actually hold your crosshair on the aircraft in order to maintain the lock. Therefore, the rocket will hit. Now, this is going to make changes to aircraft because it's going to make flares useless, will it not? Or how's that going to work?
I don't know if they'll make them useless.
Yeah, I think that they'll operate the exact same way they work now, where you cannot get a lock. Like, it just won't do it.
Yeah, depending on the flares, but like 5 seconds after you flare, you can't be locked again. So it's not like you could just continue to track the missile because it's not going to relock.
Yeah. We discussed this before the show. In Planetside 1, it used to be that way. It did used to be that way, but there was no flares, actually. So maybe flares would just make you unable to be tracked for a certain amount of seconds, I guess.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Well, that'd be cool, though. I mean, I hope you enjoy the game more when that happens. I mean, I know it's frustrating right now, especially with freaking Sky Guards. Man, those things are godly.
My concern about the upcoming changes is that, as far as I'm concerned, as of now, land-based locks are kind of useless. And if they make it so you have to actually like follow the tank, like all the tank has to do is like go back around a ridge and you've lost your lock. Like that's gonna make the Phoenix, way more viable than like a ground base like the Hawks are.
Right. I used my Crow the other day for the first time in probably 2 months. Tried to lock on a harasser, and it was useless, dude. Those harassers are so fast, the rockets can't even keep up with them. It's pretty tough. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be, but
I don't know. If you imagine having to track the harasser now,
that's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. But what's weird, the Striker seems to have the best lock-on mechanism because I get hit all the time in my harasser with Strikers the way they currently are. So I hope it changes that, and I don't want harassers to become, godly. I want them to still be able to be destroyed somehow, other than small arms fire.
I already think that harasser's a little overpowered.
I'd have to agree with that.
But we won't say that in public channel, though. We'll keep that to ourselves. No,
I think that our harasser should have to put in way more effort to put down a main battle tank than he has to. I mean, because like harassers fucking tear battle tanks up, and like I'm sick and tired of like I'm grabbing the fucking tank, and like a goddamn buggy comes running up on me and just like fucking decimates me.
Yeah.
It's really, really aggravating.
I feel your pain on that, and I guess, we can discuss this because it's still going to be coming down the chain here. But the biggest thing, and we're going to have Stardust on the show later, we're hoping, so we can discuss this with him. But the Vulcan on the harasser is a very dangerous combination. And I don't like the fact that the Vulcan can still do that bonus damage to the tail end of a tank, because it's like it hits you so quick you don't even know half the time what killed you.
It comes out of fucking nowhere. Yeah,
because of the range, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're getting hit with a rocket, which is the Halberd, you can see where those come from. You can see the source. But a Vulcan harasser, all you hear is like ping, 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 and next thing you know, you're like either dead or smoking. It's amazing. Anyway, so there's some changes coming that we're gonna look forward to, and I'm hoping, Solex, that the game turns into what it's supposed to turn into, and eventually you're supposed to be able to take your aircraft into orbital space. So that's going to be cool to see the ceiling get removed or something. I don't know what their plans are, but it's going to be really cool.
Yes.
You probably shouldn't say that it should be the way they intended to be, because then the reverse flight maneuver goes out the window.
Uh-oh. Well, the way they intended it to be, but with a few exceptions. How about that?
That works.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of helicopters underwater, it's helicopters in space.
In space.
Yes.
Like that stupid Sharknado. Do you guys ever seen that?
No, but I want to.
Oh, God. I haven't seen the movie, but I saw the freaking trailer. I was like, are you serious right now?
I made my girlfriend watch Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. She never forgave me for that.
I'm sure. She probably threw stuff at you during the movie. The next discussion item that we have is the Sony is actually, they've announced that they're going to be working on optimizing the game better so it can run a lot smoother for everyone across all platforms and all operating systems and hardware. Do you guys have you guys experienced any issues with the game the way it currently is? Then you think it needs optimization?
Oh yeah. For a little while I didn't want to play as much because every time I flew over a tech plant or something, I would get a slideshow. And I have a beastly i5 overclock with 2 graphics cards computer. That should not happen.
Yeah, I agree. I remember driving by a biolab one time, and my computer just went into like this. It looked like I was taking screenshots.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and I had to steer out of it somehow.
Yeah, that was a bug though, related to how it was drawn. Those things, they've since fixed that. As far as optimization, I mean, I haven't seen too much, but then again, I've also got an insane machine, so I mean, it would be nice to have it run a little bit better on hardware that it's supposed to.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I'd like to mention is optimization comes with time. They have to work on these things and knock out bugs. So we're going to see the game improve as time goes on. And this is ultimately being done also so it can be compatible with the PlayStation 4 version, which is coming out. Any of you guys got a PlayStation or plan on PlayStation 4 version, or are you going to stay strictly PC?
I have a PS3, but I haven't touched it in almost a year.
I use my PS3 controllers on my computer.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Does it
I've
really
done
work?
that too. Yes.
Yeah, it's not hard.
Motion Joy.
Huh.
Yeah, I have a Xbox 360 controller plugged into mine right now for trials. But as far as console gaming, I bought a Wii U when it first came out, and I haven't turned the thing on in like 6 months. So I doubt I'm going to be going to a PS4.
Yeah, I agree. I've worked too hard on my character right now. I don't think I got time to go build another one. I already spent money on this guy.
Well, I read somewhere that they are going to allow you to transfer your PC characters to the PS4.
I don't know about that. I'm still not console game. I cannot. The 2 joystick thing, nah.
Nah.
Yeah, I have to have a mouse.
Yeah, definitely. There's another event happening in the community I'd like to mention. The guys over at the ReachCast show, they've actually been putting on a event called the Community Clash event. Have you guys heard of that?
I haven't heard anything about it.
Cool. So Solix knows what it is. Basically, for everyone out there, the ReachCast guys have put together this event or tournament type thing where outfits from different servers can meet up and fight each other, basically in a clash. I'm not too sure as to the details of how many people on each team. I'm sure they figure it out prior to the event, and they do broadcast it, which is kind of cool. So that makes the game a little more interesting because you can actually find out which outfits are better and who's on top and who's going to kick whose butt. And it's kind of cool because it gives you a chance to play other players from other servers and other outfits. So definitely check them out. ReachCast, they also do another podcast just like we do about the Planetside 2 game. So definitely check them out. A bunch of good guys over there. Also, we have an event coming up. Outfit X is hosting a dueling event, which is a 1-versus-1 event. We do have a prize at the end of the tunnel for the player who overcomes all of the participants. Basically, we were able to get Sony, and also we got some donations from another outfit and a player. The outfit is Cash. They're in the Connery server. The leader of the outfit is Magnum Stallion. And he was actually able to donate some of the Station Cash prize that we have available, and so was Sony. So this first tournament that we're trying to put on is going to have a prize attached to it. So we're hoping it goes really good. It's going to be on the public test server, and unfortunately I'm not releasing any date or time information because we're trying to keep it as I guess not secret, but
You're trying to keep it without harassment as possible.
Yeah, exclusive. That's a better word. Exclusive. We're trying to keep it exclusive, so it makes people want to get the desire to actually participate in it, and it's adding another element to the game. So this is a little tougher than the Community Clash because you're looking at 1-versus-1, so it's going to be a dual style tournament. It's putting you up against some of the best players in the game. We got some really good names on the roster, so I'm looking forward to it. I know Deke's going to be in it too.
Yeah, I'm excited for fighting TWF.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because I just got an email from Twitter asking me, do you know TRG Gao? And that's who you put me in the first round with.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be kind of cool. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, all 4 of us are going to be in that tournament on this podcast today. So
I'm in on it.
Yeah. Pandy, you need to check the tournament tree again because your opponent got updated.
Did he?
Yeah, well, the guy you were going against had to drop out, so you got a sub. So anyway, And unfortunately, guys, for out there, I know you would like to see us stream the event, but we are not going to allow streaming just to prevent trolling. But we will be recording it from many angles, and we'll be replaying it at some point on our YouTube channel. And I'm sure that there's probably a few guys that are going to be recording it themselves. So if you're in the outfit with any people involved, keep an eye out. It's going to be really cool. So can't wait.
Should be a good time.
Hell yeah. So those are kind of the community events and topics of discussion of Planetside 2 that we currently want to talk about. We want to use this time on the podcast here to kind of go over, since we didn't have a game update to discuss, this is usually where we would do it, but what we're gonna do is go over some of the classes in the game, let you guys out there that are new to the game kind of know what our favorite classes are, why we recommend it, why we like it, and how to build it. So now by classes I mean Infiltrator, Light Assault, Engineer, Medic, Heavy Assault, and Max.
I'm going to cover Wizard.
Wizard?
Yeah,
Oh,
but I went Mage.
Cast a fireball. Well,
right in Twista's face.
right in my face, yeah. So, Painted, you want to start off? You've got the. Let us know what your favorite class is, why, and how you build it.
Yeah, sure thing. So my two main classes are the Infiltrator and the Light Assault. Basically, during all of beta, I played purely Light Assault, and I think it was around sometime during release. You know what? I think I started playing Infiltrator before that, because I remember as soon as release came out, that was when they really released the scout rifles, and the first thing I picked up was like the fully automatic scout rifle, and I was like, "Look at this, guys!" And everyone was like, "What the fuck is that thing?" But
is that how we sounded too? With
that's how you
the
sounded.
high pitched voice and everything.
That was you specifically.
Oh man! Don't tell anyone.
So anyway, basically, this is how I play. I always try to do the thing that no one else is doing. So that's why I always played Light Assault, because Light Assault really didn't bring a whole lot to the table. So I was like, I'm going to be the team player Light Assault. So my Light Assault, I basically have 3 loadouts. I have a short range loadout that has a shotgun. I have a long range loadout, or I guess medium range, that has the ACX-11, which is what I typically use. I also have a support role loadout. All of them have the flashbangs. I always bring flashbangs with me. That way, because I usually try to work with the other team, so I try to throw, flashbangs into the room before we breach and stuff like that to support, assaults. But my support loadout has the Gauss S with the underbarrel grenade, smoke grenades, so that I can lay down smoke for whenever we're going across a field. And he also has the grenade bandolier, and I carry 2 flashes. So yeah, I have 2 smokes and 2 flashes, so I can support the rest of the team. I usually use the drifter jets, because fucking everyone else is using jump jets, so I use the drifter jets. But it allows me to traverse, terrain faster than everyone else. I can jump from ridge to ridge, where the jump jet light assaults wouldn't be able to get there.
Now, you saw that they're actually making a change of those, right?
Oh no, what was the change?
The new change that's coming up is that you're actually going to be able to elevate some the more you tap on your spacebar. So drifter jet, you'll be able to get altitude now.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I don't think it's really necessary, especially, this is kind of weird, especially considering that, you fall when you drift. If you're, staying motionless, you'll hover, so you won't actually go anywhere, which is, that's the best way to sneak up on a tank. To come from, 2 miles, out of nowhere, and you're still a goddamn mile in the air. He's never going to see you coming. All you got to do is drop. And then, because the drifter jets, they refresh quick as hell. So just during a drop, I'll get half a tank. So by the time I'm getting close to him, I'll just start jetting. And the next thing he knows, there's a goddamn Light Assault, waving at him as he pushes the button.
Yeah. It's oh man, I better move. And by the time you know it, you've already put C4 on him.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
But I guess with the Infiltrator, I try to do the same thing. I try to play a team-oriented Infiltrator, so that usually keeps me close range, and that's why I always used the scout rifles. I almost never sniped. Anytime that I did snipe, I used this SR, and I would use it with the 4x scope. And so I keep my loadouts, the EMP grenades, unless I'm sniping, and then I would keep the decoy grenades. And decoy grenades are super situational, and if you're in a big fight, you don't want to have them because one more little red dot isn't going to mean anything to anybody on the map.
Right.
But there's been plenty of times when I've made great use of those decoy grenades. The one time I was riding up on this base, and I was on a flash, and so I hopped off the flash real quick so that the flash would continue rolling, and then I threw my decoy grenade next to the flash. And I went around the back side of the building, and there was 3 dudes sitting there looking for me. They're like, we know his flash came over here. We know he's shooting from over here, but where's he at? I killed them all.
Nice.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I know you're pretty deadly with that damn Sasser rifle, dude. That thing's pretty dangerous. I need to try it out.
Once I started using that thing, it became not very team based. Because that definitely kind of want to stay away from the crowd. You want to try to flank. Whereas once they released the SMGs, I got rid of the scout rifles because frankly they're not very good. They did update them a couple months back, and they're better than they used to be, but they used to be almost trash. But I was stuck using them because I wanted to stick with the group. But yeah, once I started using the SASR a lot, I started removing myself from the group more, and I focused on trying to flank and get around the sides. And sometimes you can still use the decoy grenades quite effectively, especially when you're on your own. Another thing I'd like to mention also is that whenever I'm playing with the group and I'm working with them as an infiltrator, usually with an SMG, and, I use the EMP grenades because once again that will help with breaching, especially because those things go off where they hit, they don't have a bounce, and that can be a problem because it's very easy to misthrow and hit your entire team with EMP.
Right.
But if you can EMP an entire group of enemies, as your rest of your squad is moving in, those enemies will not have any shields and they will go down immediately.
Yeah.
They can't use their the heavies can't use their shields. The medics can't heal with their AoE heals. That almost shuts down an entire enemy group.
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point about the infiltrator, though, that you said it kind of requires you to play away from your team. With the recon dart actually helps your team out quite a bit also, which brings them back into the team play mode. But I agree that infiltrators, if you play an infiltrator, you're always almost going to be separated from your team because you should never be front line, obviously.
Yeah.
So if you guys choose to play infiltrator, you're not going to be as effective as a group, if you're holding a room, for instance, capture point or something. An infiltrator's job is very limited in that type of situation. So you really.
I don't think so. I think that if you have the right loadout, you can help your group hold a room just as easily because you have your darts, so you can monitor enemy movement. You have your Bettys, so you can cover enemy, the entrances. And if you have an SMG, you combine, especially if you have the nano shield, you can get around enemies even if they notice you. You still have your team there to support you, and if they get a couple shots on you, you're not going to take as much damage, and they're going to have to immediately deal with the larger threat because that's what you're supposed to do. So you deal with the person who's shooting you now, which opens them up to me. So there's plenty of ways, and if you're going to be playing a close range, moving from building to building, inside of a biolab, I would highly recommend using the nano armor because that'll allow you to move around. And if you can dodge and get out of the way in case someone does start firing at you, or you can even run through enemy fire because you're not going to take as much damage, and they'll never even imagine that there was an infiltrator running across that field of fire. It allows you to get really good positions.
Right. Now the nano cloak you said, or nano, what was it?
The nano armor cloak.
Yeah. That's going to give you're going to be able to take a little more damage, is that right?
Yeah, it's a 20% reduced damage if you get shot while you're using it.
Cool. Yeah, I've seen your videos with your infiltrator loadout, man. It's pretty ridiculous what you can do with that thing. But you had some good points there, and I hope maybe this will help somebody out there who's new to the game. So if you're looking at playing infiltrator or even light assault, definitely rewind, listen to the setup again. I mean, it's good advice here. Payne has been doing it for a while. I remember he used to take out stuff that when you started playing Light Assault, I was always like, man, Light Assault's okay. You can fly around, you know. And then I started playing it, and I just fell in love with it too. So definitely hear you there. Do you want to add anything else to your loadouts, or you want?
I think that about covers it.
Cool. Deke, you're up next, man. What's your favorite class and why?
Well, lately I've been playing pretty much Light Assault non-stop just because I like how you fly around with a shotgun or fly around with the SMG, just wreck shop.
That's because you just want to kill me, that's why.
Well.
Who doesn't?
He doesn't
Guilty.
agree. He doesn't disagree.
Guilty. But well, like I was telling other people this too, but like from battle rank 1 to 40, I played nothing but heavy assault. And I think that heavy assault is more of a noob-friendly class, you know, someone that's just trying to learn, because you have the option of your shield, you have the LMGs, in which you can really reach out and touch someone with. But now I'm, especially as a squad lead, Light Assault with jump jets is really handy to get your beacon in places that the enemy can't destroy it without their own Light Assault.
Right.
And I mean, it's really fun in a tower fight to be playing Light Assault with a shotgun. That's really it.
Yeah, you're right. Jumping from level to level. Nobody knows where you're coming from.
Yeah. Well, that and C4. Like,
yeah.
Christ, I probably have almost as many kills with C4 as I do with an SMG.
So what's your ultimate loadout? If let's just put you in a scenario, you're going to Crossroads, Watchtower, and Indar. It's a big tower. What's your loadout?
I run maxed out jump jets and maxed out nanoweave armor because I like to have the extra HP. You can really substitute flak in there. It's really a personal preference thing. And maxed out C4, just because having that C4 is really handy, especially when you're dealing with maxes trying to hold like a point in a tower or something. So you can fly up and toss it through the window and still take them out.
In my opinion, you shouldn't be playing Light Assault if you don't have full C4. That's what the Light Assault does.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've killed so many pieces of armor with it too, because 2 C4 will take out any armor. Yeah. It's really annoying that 2 C4 won't take out a Sunday if the Sunday's sorted correctly, but.
Yeah.
Well,
I hate that. You got a Sunday that's got maxed out armor, put C4 on it, doesn't even do a third maybe.
Yeah, I know. The thing's just hardly smoking after you blow 2 C4 on it.
Hint, hint. So if you've ever seen yourself in an Outfit X video getting blown up and your Sunday gets some freaking armor on it. So what kind of gun are we looking at here on your loadout?
Primarily I'll use either the Sweeper or the Blitz. I've been subbing in the PDW and the Cyclone every once in a while just for some variety, but the Blitz with, advanced laser sight and a compensator, or if you want to, a suppressor, it doesn't really matter. But you don't even have to aim down the sights because the spread is so tiny on the thing.
Yeah, but I think the compensator fucks up your spread if you're not using your iron sights.
I haven't really noticed because with the advanced laser sight, the thing, you have to actually hold a burst down for a good 8 seconds before it starts to spread, whereas you should never be holding a burst that long to begin with if you want to be making accurate shots.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean there's a good reason to have the compensator on.
Hey, you know what? I do it and I like it. Shut up.
Hey, you do what you want, bro.
I was using I'll be honest, I was using the compensator on my Light Assault for a little while, and here recently I've taken it off for close range and mid-range combat. One of the main reasons why is because it also makes you visible at longer ranges on radar.
Yeah. Well, I've actually swapped out my compensator for a suppressor too, just when I want to be somewhat sneaky because you don't show up at all on that thing.
Yeah. Another thing that I would like to point out is that if you guys are using a silencer on your SMGs and you're in a big fight, like you're not sneaking around, you should probably take it off because you'll increase your time to kill, or I guess decrease it, and it'll be more of a versatile weapon.
Yeah, if you're not worried about showing up on the mini map, there's no reason to have one, especially just because of the velocity drop.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds cool though. Silencers do sound cool, but if you're trying to kill somebody at medium to long, it's not going to happen. You lose so many bullets. By the time 2 or 3 bullets hit him, he's going to be out of the way anyway.
Yeah. So. Before it was brought to my attention that you get a significant bullet drop or velocity drop from the silencer. I mean, I had never even one time ever used the Blitz without a silencer, and so I was kind of surprised at how cool the Blitz sounded without the silencer.
Yeah. Well, when the PDW first came out, I was playing with it, and someone, like, I I'd fire a burst, and then someone's like, "What the hell is that?" So I fired another burst. They're like, "There it is again." And I was actually playing with them for a little while.
Yeah,
making them wonder what was going on.
The PDW has this cool after effect when you fire a round. It's got like an echo to it. You guys notice that? It's pretty cool. Yeah. So, my light assault's kind of similar to Painted, though. I do have a short range, medium range, and a long range loadout. So, it just depends on what the situation calls for. But
I've got a medium with the Compact S as well.
Yeah. My long range is the GD23, the Razor.
That thing is really nice, especially if you fire a single shot at a time. It's really accurate and does a lot of damage too for at range.
Dude. Oh, heck yeah, it does. I love it. So, Deke, do you have anything else to add to your loadout before we move on?
Not really. I mean, just between Nanoweave and Flak is really just choice, but I don't know if I've killed myself with C4 plenty of times, so I can see the point of having Flak.
You know what's funny? I know you killed yourself. I'm just, I'm not even going to question that. I wasn't even going to act surprised. Oh, really? Like, you killed me too.
I would like to throw in. I didn't really discuss what my armor loadout is. If almost all the time, unless I'm using like the grenade bandolier, I like to use the capacitor so that my shields come back faster, especially since they've been buffed this last time.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah, dude. That new capacitor is really good. The only time I ever really use Nanoweave is when I'm using my SMG on my infiltrator, and I know that I'm going to be right in an enemy's face. But especially as an infiltrator, because you can get away in like 6 seconds. Boom, half your fucking life is back.
Yeah, the Nanoweave gives you more health too, so you could take an extra bullet or two, right?
Yeah, but that's all it does. The capacitor will give you half your life back in 6 seconds.
Okay, cool. That's a good idea, man. Definitely. You guys taking notes out there in the interweb? Listen to Painted. He knows what he's talking about. So me and Deke are always giving each other a hard time. I'll tell you a story before I get into my loadout. It's the craziest way to be killed that I've ever been killed, because if you go look at Deke and I's profiles, the people that have killed each other the most, he's on my list, I'm on his list. So it's kind of funny, as we discussed earlier. But we were fighting at this base one time. We were chasing the same enemy, but I went in one door, and Deke was following him around the building to the other door that we knew he was going into, which is why I went in to cut him off. And as soon as I got to the doorway that the enemy was coming into, Deke was literally right on his ass. I killed the bad guy. At the same time, Deke's knife is flying, because he had took a knife swing at him, and I come flying through the door because the enemy died. And so Deke knifed me in the doorway, and we were both chasing the same enemy. It was terrible. And that just goes to show the luck that we have with each other. It's like, for some reason, we're always in each other's freaking reticles. I don't know why. Anyway.
Yeah, just the other day, we were both trying to camp the little balcony on a tower that enemies could come out of their spawn room, and then you killed someone and jumped down and died, and then you're like, oh, that better not have been you.
I just come to expect it. Anytime Deke is 5 feet, 10 feet within me, I know I'm going to die to him. I know I am. It's just, he's my nemesis, just on the same faction. So I'd like to, I guess, go to my loadout. I'm like Deke. I started out with heavy assault. I was just nothing but heavy assault, and I guess I just had that habit from Planetside 1, because heavy assault, you could carry 2 weapons. You were this you had the best armor. You could take more hits. Blah 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 blah. Which is
Rexo armor.
Yeah, Rexo armor, which is what it was called. Planetside 1. It would let you carry a ton of stuff. And anyway, that just stuck in my head. So I started out heavy assault. Every other class was inferior to me, and they still are. And anyway, the heavy assault class is a very it's a multi-threat type of class, because you're able to take out infantry and vehicles. Because you can carry C4, you can carry rocket launchers, you can carry a nice rifle. It was very threatening because before they nerfed, I shouldn't say nerfed, before they changed the LMGs, those rifles were badass. I mean, they could compete with any other assault rifle. You could pull them out. But now they've added some delay, so when you pull out your big rifles and reload them, they've added some reload time. So they've kind of tweaked them a little bit, but it's still a really good class for you new people out there. If you find yourself constantly getting killed as a medic or engineer, switch to a heavy assault once in a while. Try it out. I use the nanite mesh generator shield on my heavy assault, which basically lets you take higher, burst damage. So if rocket comes and hits you, I guess I shouldn't say rocket, a volley of bullets, you activate your shield, and your shields will be able to absorb those. Of course, once the shields go away, then it starts hitting your health. But it's really nice because it gives you that extra half a second to try to turn the fight around. I've got 3 different rockets based on my situation. On my heavy assault, I use the Phoenix, which is the guided rocket. So as soon as you fire it, you can guide it with your mouse. It's camera guided. Always nice. People think it's OP. I think it needs a buff. I think it needs a change. It's the only weapon in the game, the only rocket that you can shoot down, which doesn't make sense to me. I have the Hawk missile, which is the anti-aircraft missile, which is some of the, in the same class of the missiles we were talking about earlier. And then I have the Crow rocket, which is the anti-vehicle lock-on rocket. So based on our situation, I'll change my class. I also have the jackhammer, which is a close-range weapon. It's the NC shotgun, which is a beast. They actually gave it a nice little buff here recently, and I love it. My primary weapon, though, on my heavy assault is the EM6. I have up in the thousands of kills with that weapon. Anybody that's looking to make a nice purchase for your heavy assault, though, for a rifle, I would definitely recommend that. Put you a forward grip, red dot, and compensator, and you're good to go. The only thing I could say that would improve heavy assault is that they gave us jetpacks, so.
Yeah, OP much.
Can you imagine that? Jetpack with a jackhammer? Very OP.
Yeah. I'd like to
on those jackhammer changes, I'm really happy about those. I think they finally made it the weapon it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think the new jackhammer is awesome.
Hell, the new jackhammer is so accurate, sometimes I have trouble getting it on target,
Yeah. It's
so accurate. Well, you were going to say something, Painted, about...
Yeah, I wanted to elaborate on what you said about the heavy assault being able to kill vehicles. That's not I would like to point out also that it's one of the only 2 character classes that can really be a threat to aircraft. The other one being the Max. No other class can really even do anything to an aircraft other than shoot their little gun at it. And if it's not a ESF, you're not doing any damage to it. So that's another one way that the heavy assaults are pretty powerful.
Right. The rocket damage too. And what he's talking about, you can damage ESFs with your primary rifle, but the Liberators and Galaxies, you cannot touch those unless you have some type of explosive, which makes sense because they're bigger aircraft. Now, I want to touch a little bit about what I said also, because you cannot just jump in heavy assault and kill vehicles. I mean, it's not like you're just going to be able to one-shot a vehicle. You have to work at it. So if you're new, don't get me wrong, you can't just jump in with a rocket launcher and kill everything.
Well, so one other thing is you don't need to specifically have to kill the vehicle. You just have to chase it away. As long as the vehicle's not there being a threat anymore because of the amount of rocket fire coming from it toward it, you pretty much did your job.
Right. And if you're in the outfit like we have, when we see vehicles or aircraft coming in, we'll call it out. 5, 6 of us switch into heavy assault. All of a sudden, there's no more vehicles. So that's what the power of coordination brings. Now, my other favorite class right now, I guess I'm starting to get the little itch for it, is the engineer class because of its support role. I love the fact that you can give your teammates ammo, but I also picked up the Gauss Compact S rifle, which Painted touched on earlier with the smoke grenade attachment. With the ammo pack, that gives you unlimited smoke. If you're tactically minded, you will know what I'm talking about. There are some bases that you assault that are just plain. There's no terrain. There's very few obstacles to hide behind. So it's very hard to assault these bases whenever you have people defending these facilities. But I picked up the smoke grenade launcher to test it out to see if it was going to be a viable option to help my outfit move into bases that are well defended. And it has. Multiple occasions I have had many reports of the smoke screen that I'm actually developing with the smoke grenade launcher is getting my team into a facility with very little damage to us. So definitely recommended weapon because the Gauss Compact S rifle is available to be used on light assault, engineer, and
that's it.
Medic?
Medic?
No, they get a different gun. It's they get grenade launchers, but it's on a different gun.
Okay. So it's just engineer and light assault.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's a carbine. But I would elaborate also. Like any time that I do play engineer, I have the Gauss Compact S with the underbarrel smoke. Because as far as I'm concerned, that should be like the engineer's like first primary goal is to help support his team. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the turret's a nice thing to have too, the anti-vehicle turret. But I guess engineer's not necessarily my favorite class, but here lately I've been really fond of that rifle because of the smoke grenade attachment, and I think that it's something that people should look into, because it may be a tactic that we're overlooking that was intended. So, in my heavy assault, I did want to say I do use nano weave armor, which gives you more health. So if anybody out there's got questions, send me an email. I'll help you out.
Check our forums. We have plenty of guides on how to build classes and what everyone's experiences.
Yeah, definitely join our forums. We've got a lot of info, Planetside 2 information, class information. If you guys, our website is www.outfit-x.com, and we do have some pretty nice forums. So if you have questions, don't feel like a noob. Come by, stop by, ask us some questions. We'll help you out. Solix, you're up next, man. What's your favorite class and why? And how do you build it?
Well, when I'm not flying around as an engineer, because I actually never use engineer on the ground, I usually am a medic. And I'm pretty much in that medic 99.99% of the time that I'm on the ground. My main reason for that is because I can heal myself. I'm kind of one of those people that if I'm hurt at all, I just want to heal up right away. As for fighting enemies, what I'll actually do a lot of times is when I start taking damage, I'll use my self-heal, AoE heal ability, and that will heal me up once my shield has gone down from any bullets that I take. I mean, I've had times where people should have killed me, but I was able to kill them no problem. And then on top of that, it heals everyone in the area, so plus.
Right, XP, right?
Yep.
Well, let me ask you a question, and I don't mean to interrupt you here, but
sure.
None of us mentioned earlier that we use medkits. Is that the case for everyone? Medkits or medpacks or whatever?
I use medkits on my heavy assaults. I use medkits on my infiltrator because I'm usually away from the group and I have to be self-reliant. Sometimes, if I'm out of C4 on my light assaults, I'll use medkits. I find, and this is a big tip to everyone, if you're playing Infiltrator, do not use restoration kits, because as soon as you cloak, that will stop you from healing. You need to be able to hit yourself with the med kit, get fully healed up, and then cloak. So, big tip there. Another thing that I guess you should know about restoration kits is you can use them to kind of tank. So if you pop a resto kit like right before you run into a room, that's a pretty good idea because it works like the medic's heal. And if you do have a medic with you who is popping his heal, then you'll be doubly healed. So it's a good tactic for restos.
Yeah, definitely. Solix, go ahead and continue. I'm sorry about that. I was just kind of wondering because none of us mentioned med kits. So
I personally use restoration kits, and I don't know why I stuck to those instead of medical kits themselves. I think it's just I sorted those out so I could carry the most at the first, and haven't bothered with getting med kits. But even though I can use my self-heal, I like to try to save that for combat only. So if I'm not in combat or if my self-heal's low, then I'll just pop a med kit.
That's an interesting tactic, though. I mean, for a medic to carry med kits.
Yeah, it's saved me plenty of times, actually.
Do you never carry C4?
No, I do not.
Yeah, I don't think if I played medic, I don't think I would carry C4 either.
I have C4 certed for the first brick, but I've never felt the need to unlock the second. Usually if I run into tanks, I run away and have Twist and Paint to deal with it.
There you go. Yeah, that brings up a point because I've always wondered why the hell do medics need C4? You got to go watch some of Nacho's videos though that he's made. He actually is a great medic, but he uses C4. I guess it's viable, but it's kind of weird to see a medic carrying explosives, honestly.
Well, yeah. I mean, their options are either C4 or medic kits, and neither one of those really kind of make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see the use for C4, because it would give the medics a weapon that can deal with vehicles, whereas normally we don't have really anything. But, like I said earlier, since I do tend to play more team play orientated, I'll just have my team take out the vehicles while I run around and try to keep from dying and keep them from dying.
Yeah, the more friendlies you keep up, the safer you are, because the enemy are trying to shoot them,
Yep.
Well, the general population, the smart people are trying to kill you.
Yeah.
As a medic, right? I mean, that just makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Aim for the medics first. That actually kind of leads into my other point why I love playing medic is I'll go into a room, fight my way into a room, as I know Twist and Painted know I'll pretty much pick you up anywhere. And I can res a whole army from dead corpses. That's just fun to do.
Yeah.
Hell, one revive grenade.
Yeah, the revive grenade has saved us many times, I'll be honest.
Yep.
If you're going into a medic class and you want to know what grenade to get the freaking spin. What is it? 200 certs?
I think it's 400 for the revive, 200
I think it's
for the
400,
heal.
yeah.
Yeah, spend
It's
save
worth
up to
it.
400, get the damn revive grenade, because it not only does it bring up your outfit and your squad, it brings up anybody else in that damn room that's friendly, except Max's, right?
I think
Yeah.
it does. Oh, no?
I don't know. I don't know if it does maxes or not.
I'm pretty sure it does not.
But I was gonna say I don't. Anytime I do play medic, I don't run revive. I use my heal grenades.
Heal grenades are nice if you can use them to help kind of tank damage as well.
Yeah.
Throw them in ahead of an advance, get your area heal up going as well. Pop a med or resto kit, you'd have so much overhealing, it'd be crazy.
Yeah, and like, I mean, it's rare whenever I do it, but sometimes if like, there's like heavy fire and I see a bunch of guys over there and like, and they need healing, I'll just toss my grenade over there and heal them up.
Yeah, there's another little feature to medics that you may or may not have. Solix, we've been testing it. There's actually a tactic I'd like to talk to you guys about later. But anyway, it's called, it's the one that heals people when you're in vehicles. Not trauma.
Triage.
Triage.
Yeah. Do you use that?
I have it certed full, and you don't have to actually equip it or anything, so as long as I'm in a vehicle with anyone, including Maxes, it'll heal them.
That's interesting. I think that's really cool that Maxes get healed from it.
Yep.
It may not be intended, but it works. So definitely, definitely use it if you're a dedicated medic and you're going in Sunders a lot. Triage will get you some XP.
Yep.
What about your rifle, Solix? How are you with the weapons?
Alright, so for the longest time, my NS-11A has had as many, if not more, kills than my Vortec Rotary. So I'll give you that much. I think I recently have surpassed it with the Vortec. And by the way, the Vortec Rotary is the Reaper's main air-to-air weapon. Lately I've started using the NS-7 PDW. That thing's a lot of fun to use in close combat, but still most of the time it's the NS-11A.
Nice. Yeah, I got that rifle recently and I love it. It's like a damn sniper rifle from the range. Automatic sniper rifle, man, it's badass.
It has such little recoil, you almost don't have to let off the trigger.
What scope are you using on that thing anyway?
Red dots, 1x. That's the only sight I use on any of my weapons.
Yeah, I picked up what the hell is it? The 3.4 Demio or whatever it's called?
Yeah, the ACOG like.
Yeah, it's kind of like an ACOG, but it's got like a triangle hair on it.
Okay.
And I noticed that the NS weapons, this is intended, but the NS weapons actually throw out white tracers. And so if you have anything over a 2x zoom scope, it actually makes your shots blind you in the center because of the white tracers. We'll go try it later, maybe in the VR training or the VR room, just so you can see what I'm talking about. But anytime you put a powerful scope on the NS-11, or I guess maybe it's any NS weapon, the white tracers just blind you from your target. It's really weird. So that's kind of something to keep in mind. But I'd like to show it to you later.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a look later.
Definitely. It looks like Kingdeke actually had to step out of the episode here, so we'd like to thank him in advance for joining us. He's been a great contributor to the outfit and definitely a good all-around good guy. The next, did you have anything else you wanted to add to your medic build before we move on to the next segment here?
I guess I should just say that I pretty much always use the nanite armor. I think that's about it for the important stuff.
So you like the extra health?
Yes.
Okay. See, I have a little, and this is just my way of thinking, because medics are always, and engineers, they're always the ones that are going in doing shit for people. You're being supported, right? Yep. So I think you need the most protection, because you're going in there, there's dead bodies on the ground, you're trying to bring up a guy, and the enemies, they're throwing grenades and rockets at you. So I personally love running full flak armor because you're able to take more explosives. And as a matter of fact, I think they're going to buff or change the way flak armor works in the future, so you'll be able to take more explosive damage if it's indirect.
Yep.
So that might be something
I
to
did
think
see
about.
that in the test server patch notes that they are buffing flak armor for some stuff.
Right. I mean, that's something to think about, though, right? Because I'm sure you've had this happen to you where you're bringing somebody up and you see a grenade land right next to you.
Oh yeah. Most of the time, though, I just stop bringing them up and run away for a second, and I'm usually fine.
Yeah. I've brought people up and just sat on the grenade and just turn on my auto heal and take it, take the explosion.
Yeah.
So that's a difference.
See that.
Yeah, I think it's a good tactic, man. I think that flak armor is a viable option to nano weave. So
Yes, I'd agree.
yeah. So and I run it on all my classes. As a matter of fact, my light assault is one of my most busiest classes that I use, and I've literally stepped on people's mines, anti-personnel mines, and come out with still almost not full shield, but full health. I mean, I think I lose 1 or 2 bars of health, but the flak armor saved my ass, man.
Okay.
So anyway,
I just personally find myself getting shot at more than explosives being launched at me, so that's why I choose the nano armor over the flak.
Yeah, I think Deke mentioned this earlier. In light assault, we do a lot more sabotaging and explosive devices that we use. The C4.
Yeah.
So I use it more there because of that too. So I can take when that Sunder blows up or that tank blows up, I can take a little bit of that explosive damage and walk away.
For sure.
So
different armors for different needs.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, for you new people out there, it's something to think about. If you're wondering which direction you should go. The game has definitely advanced. Players got more levels, so there is more explosives. There is more damage getting thrown around. So either way, however you play, if you're more in the face type person, get nano weave. If you're supportive and you take more explosive damage, get flak armor. I mean, both are great choices. The next discussion here, or the next segment, is it plays into what we just discussed, and it's classes. Now, we wanted to break this down into another section because it's controversial, because maxes to some extent are overpowered to most people because they have some kind of benefit. According to the Planetside 2 forums, the NC maxes, which is what we play, are overpowered because we can kill people at close range.
Almost instantly.
And to me, of course, I play the NC, so I'm going to be a little biased on this opinion, but I think that if you're that close to a max, you should die. I don't care if you're a VS max, an NC max, or TR max. I think the damage should be adjusted to where if you're in a max's face and he shoots you, he's got more powerful weapons than you, you should die, right? And that's not breaking down each max's special ability yet. It's just in general. Because a max, you have to use resources to pull it, so it should be more valuable.
And I do like to say that I swear the not the NC, but the VS and the TR maxes do kill just about as fast anyway.
Right. Yeah. I think the TR are pretty deadly too. The TR have more medium range weapons, so they can kill you faster even if you're not in their face.
Yep. The VS do the same.
Yeah, definitely. So that brings up a whole nother issue here. We're talking about special abilities. I'll start with the NC max, because the NC max is debatable within the NC. There's some NC that say, oh, great, all VS and TR get damage items while we get a freaking shield, which we cannot shoot from behind. All we can do is sit there and tuck our butts in a corner. I can agree with that in a certain sense. But then again, I also agree that it's a great tool, because I have literally sat in an enemy max, maybe 2 or 3 maxes faces with my shield up, just laughing at them. And as soon as they go to reload, guess what I do?
Pop out and kill them.
Yeah, close range. You got double shotgun max. I mean a double. What are these grinders? They're gonna die. So it's not. It's
not bad, but it's not great.
It's not great.
That's how I always look at it.
Yeah, and the cool thing, if you start your reload before you actually use your shield, your weapons reload while you have your shield up. So that's a little tip to you new players out there. On my max, I actually have different loadouts. I've got an AA loadout, which is anti-aircraft. I got an AV loadout for anti-vehicle. Then I got anti-infantry. So on my anti-infantry loadout, I actually run the shield and I run flak armor. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think I do use flak armor. Anyway, that's so I can take rockets, and I can also shield from small arms fire. Now, there's some people that say that's OP because we can take damage, but we can't fire. And we can't even shield butt while we're in that mode, right? Which would be cool.
Yep.
Like give them
that would be called a shield bash.
Yeah, shield bash while you got your shield up. I would love to see that in the game. What do you think about the TR maxes? I mean, do you think do you know? Have you played him at all, or have you tried that class on the TR?
I haven't done a whole lot on TR. I'll put this out first. Whenever I do play VS or TR, at least the very few times I do, because they're both under BR20.
Right.
It's pretty much just aircraft, so I can get a good feel of how the Mossies fly, how the sights fly, counter them. So when it comes to ground-based stuff, I don't have a whole lot of experience. Now, I have used them a bit, though. I found for the TR Max, it's just nice having chain guns that you can shoot at medium ranges. It's sometimes kind of nicer than shotguns where you're pretty limited to how far you can engage people, especially where a lot of bases, they do have longer throughways where if you're an NC Max, you'll spray your whole magazine at them, and if you're lucky, you'll kill them. Whereas if you're a TR Max, you can actually just mow down people at those ranges.
Right. Have you tried their special ability out, the lockdown ability?
I have not, but the lockdown ability, from my understanding, is just a little bit more damage, higher rate of fire, higher reload, and you're stuck stationary where you can't look more than so many degrees around you.
Yeah, do you think that how do you feel, which ability would you rather have playing the NC? Would you rather have the shield or would you have the lockdown?
I would take the shield. Lockdown's good for defense, but the shield, it's a defensive item, but you can use it for offense.
Right, and you're very vulnerable as you're locked down for a TR Max, so in a way I kind of feel their pain.
Yep.
Then again, I've seen them use it wisely, and I've seen them hold a room to where you can't even touch the doorway because you've got maxes locked down, you can't do nothing. And if you've got a couple maxes locked down, even an NC Max with a shield gets sprayed down pretty quick coming through that door. So, it's good in two ways, except it makes you pretty vulnerable. And that can be argued two ways, and I'm not going to take a side on the TR Max because I don't want to be, I don't actually have enough experience with it, honestly, to speak about it. So if anybody out there has comments, give us some feedback. Let us know how you feel about it. Stop by our forums or leave it on the comment section of our podcast area here. The VS Max, let's talk about that for a little bit because I think that that's the most controversial right now. And,
yes.
And I think you know why.
Well, let me quote Higby for a second. And I know it's kind of a not super factual quote anyway. But the VS tend to only use things that are super overpowered.
Maybe because they're smart players. I don't know.
Right.
Now
to go back on that, I don't think it's as overpowered as it was when it first came out because there have been some nerfs, I believe. But
yeah, but they were very, very minimal.
They were light, yeah.
Yeah. It just wasn't enough to really make me be like, oh, okay, well, I feel better about it.
Yeah.
So let's explain to the audience out there what the ability is and why we're talking about it.
Sure. For the life of me, I can't think of the name of it though. First,
go ahead.
The Z-Lot Overdrive Engine, or the
right.
Zoe.
Zoe. All right. Painted, if you're back, do you want to go over the Zoe?
Yeah, sure. It basically makes them move faster, shoot faster, and do more damage while taking more damage in exchange, and that's what it does. It's pretty powerful. No one likes it. We all hate it. We all bitch about it. It makes them glow, but yeah.
I love
do
it.
Remember. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I love the fact that they're trying to add a different ability because in Planetside 1, the VS Maxes used to fly. They had a jetpack with a little bit of fuel, so they could get into these corners that were just, they could farm people, which was cool. But I think that, now this is my personal opinion, this is, of course this doesn't represent anybody in the outfit, but I think that if they're going to give them movement speed and, damage together, that's a very dangerous combination because it can be exploited because when they're moving so fast, it's hard to hit them. It's hard to hit them, and by the time you know it, they're moving faster than infantry. I've seen Maxes run faster than me in the light assault, and it's like, what the heck? And there's no cooldown to it. There's no timer. They can run it as long as they want. So if they're running AA on a VS Max, which is the flak cannons, man, aircraft just instant death. Yeah, instant death. What's the percentage on the damage anyway, Painted? Is it like 20%?
I think it's like 20 or 25, but I think the damage they take in exchange is like 30 or 35.
Pretty sure 35.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a whiner here because I know that all the maxes have a special ability, but it's like the NC got a shield and the other ones got damage ability. So I think there needs to be something done about the Zoe. I think the movement speed should be taken away. If you're going to give them damage, don't give them movement speed too, or vice versa. What do you think?
No,
I do remember.
I don't agree with you. I never have. I think that the ability is okay. I think it's a pain in the ass. I mean, that's the best I'll get it. I mean, I think that the Zoe maxes go down fairly easily. You just put enough, I mean, like 35% is quite a bit of damage. They go down pretty easily, and like, I think if they did anything to them, what I would like to see is maybe have it like put on a timer, or maybe have it have like an engine, like I think about it like it's like NOS, like you have a tank, and like when you hit it, it turns on until you run out of it. And I think that's maybe how it should work.
Kind of like jetpack fuel?
Yeah, jetpack fuel, or like a shield on a heavy assault or something like that.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. It should not be unlimited though, right? So, there's always rants and raves on the Planetside 2 forums. You guys really got to go check them out because you've really got to experience these issues or these benefits to be able to know what we're talking about. So if you haven't played a max or you haven't fought one of the other factions, try it out. Let us know what you think. We definitely are always open to discussion items, and let us know how you feel about what we're talking about, because maxes is a pretty big topic because they are faction specific, so each one is different. The biggest items are the weapons. I don't think the community has a problem with the NC shields. I think they have a problem with our weapons, and that's because they're giant shotguns. So
I think the rest of the community can stop whining. That's the only range in which we are good. I mean, dude, if we were so overpowered because of our maxes, we would win every single biodome alert. Does that happen? No. Who holds them? BS does. Exactly. You can't take a goddamn fucking biolab during a fucking biolab alert because the fucking BS have them all.
Yeah, and the Zoe max, they get the bonus damage, dude. I mean, that's what it comes down to. That bonus damage, you die faster, and it don't matter what your loadout is, you're still going to take more damage. So I don't know, man. Balance wise, I think they need to do something about the damage part. Because anytime you try to take a biolab, there's Zoe maxes there. There is. Yep. I mean, there's no doubt. Yeah. I don't care if you got C4 or not. They can aim up just like you can fly up, and they can kill you just as quick or quicker than our max at range at that. So anyway, that's a hot topic. We could sit here and argue with each other all night. We do this all the time. We have these friendly debates, but I think we're all on the same page though when it comes to maxes. I mean, they're different. They got their special abilities, but let the game be different, because if they try to balance it out, we're going to end up having a very boring game. There's not going to be any diversity at all. So, but I think the best max in the game right now is going to be Zoe, honestly.
Yeah, I would say so.
I agree.
So, but anyway, we don't want to encourage any of our listeners to join a BS because the BS suck. So, join the NC where you live free.
Live free in the NC.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
Wow, we've gone quite a bit here. We'll kind of go a little faster to this part. Basically going to go over some vehicles for any new players out there. Of course, Painted, I'll let you start out with your favorite vehicle and why.
Sure thing. So, once again, as I said earlier, I like to do things different than everyone else. So I typically try to, see what other people are doing, and I will do the opposite. So that's why on my favorite vehicle is, I would say, the Vanguard. It used to be the Flash, and that was for two reasons, and that was one, because no one really did anything with the Flash, and two, because it had the Scout radar. And so I would take my Flash, and I totally buffed it up, and I would take it everywhere we went. Everyone else was getting in the Sunderer, I would get on my Flash and ride with them, so that I could pull my Flash up and have the radar. They changed that, obviously. You can't do that anymore. So I would have to go to the Vanguard as being probably my favorite vehicle. And, I usually don't ever take the heat rounds, because I think that a tank's number one priority should not be shooting infantry. I guess the HE rounds. I always take the heat rounds, because I think the heat rounds are the good medium. Like, you can still kill infantry if you need to, and you can still kill tanks. If I know that I'm going up against tanks, I usually take the AP rounds. For my Top Gun, I usually go with either the the halberd or the. I like to go anti-air a lot, so I usually take my not the Ranger but the Walker. So I take the Walker. Make sure that no. Because I think air cover is always necessary.
Oh, I think so too.
And if I'm in my tank, I'm usually hanging back, shooting at other tanks and other stuff. So I'll go ahead and take care of let the gunner take care of the air. That's my 2 cents.
2 cents of painted death is worth more than 2 cents.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks.
Yeah, Vanguard's awesome though. I mean, unfortunately in our server, we don't have the best Vanguard pilots because a lot of our Vanguards just seem to camp bases and they don't try to push in, and there's a lot of fights that could be turned if a lot of these outfits would just make their tanks push in, move your tank off the hill and push towards the objective, We may see that may change as the game changes with the new resource change that's coming up. So I'd like to see how that changes. But anyway, I love my Vanguard too.
It's a really undervalued gun. For the top is the Cobalt. Me and Nachos went on this crazy run attacking a base, and I was gunning for the Cobalt, and I was just mowing down infantry. You got to make sure that you have the scope on that thing though, because it's almost like a sniper weapon.
Oh yeah, that thing shoots in a straight line, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, unfortunately it does have some spread, so at distance it can be kind of useless, but up close it's a pretty good gun.
Cool. Yeah, I like it too. It's very situational though, but it takes out infantry like crazy. I got it on my Flash, and you'd be amazed how many people you can just drive up to and just mow them down with that thing, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So my favorite vehicle in the game currently is the bomber with the shredder. I guess that's my number 2 because the shredder. If I had to pick a weapon in the game that I love, it's the shredder. It mows down anything and everything. But my favorite ground vehicle is going to be the Harasser. I think that the Harasser has changed the game. It has created a counter to some of these tank zergs that we see camping hills or camping bases. All it takes is 2 or 3 Harassers with some type of anti-vehicle weapon, and it could turn to fight right away because you're taking out tanks like you can't imagine. So I think right now the Harasser is one of my favorites, especially whenever Outfit X pulls Harassers. We got 7 or 8 of them with the same weapon. We're taking out tank zergs like nothing. They can escape, they can evade. There's also the ability that you can actually get repairs while you're in while you're traveling if you got an engineer in the back seat. So really cool vehicle. If you're looking to upgrade one of your vehicles, you need to know which one. I'd recommend the Harasser for the ground. But also for you new players, if you're looking for certification points, spend 50 certification points on your Sunder and get the AMS feature, which allows people to spawn on your Sunder when you deploy it. You'd be amazed at big fights how much XP you can scrape in if you've got 10,000 people spawning at your Sunder. So think about that. But I think the Sunder is very dangerous also. It's a good platform. You can put AA on it. You can put AV on it. You can put anti-infantry on it. 2 weapons. It's really nice. Solix, what's your favorite vehicle? I don't even know why I'm asking, but I think we know. But go ahead.
Well, I like these little airplane things that fly around. The Reaver. But when I'm not using the Reaver, I like to use what I call my land ESF, the Lightning. That thing is fun to just drive around and blow stuff up with AP rounds on it.
Nice. So you AP rounds take out infantry pretty well also, right?
Yep. If you can aim, it will one-shot an infantry unit.
AP rounds fucking blow ass for infantry.
Well, if you can hit them, they do good.
Yeah. So does any other round.
I guess.
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that AP rounds have a higher velocity than HE.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Because I don't know why, dude. I don't understand the reasoning behind that, and I think that I've got killed more by AP rounds than HE because the velocity. Because the round gets there quicker, so you can really hit people easier. Does that make sense?
I have that feeling as well.
No, I disagree with you. I think that, I mean, I kill people with my AP rounds, but I don't think that I get more infantry kills at all with AP rounds. I mean, hell, I don't think I get enough infantry kills with heat rounds, and they have explosion.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The HE rounds explosion, it is bigger, but it just doesn't kill like I think it should with infantry. It's not doing the amount of damage. And the travel time on the round itself is just too slow, dude. I wish they'd increase it a little bit. So anyway, go ahead, Solex. What's your next? What were you going to talk about next?
I guess the next thing I would talk about actually would be my ESF. Some flying tips kind of stuff. I guess the first thing will be how I build the aircraft. I primarily am an air-to-air pilot. I only usually poke my nose in the ground when I've run out of airplanes to kill. That means I fly with my Vortec rotary main gun and a afterburner fuel tanks for the extra afterburner, because that really helps me fly backwards and destroy people easier.
Yeah, definitely gives you more thrust maneuver.
Yep, and I find that helps a lot because it lets me play more defensively while letting my nose gun do the offensive work.
Right, that's awesome. And so you said you don't use A-to-A missiles?
I do not. I'm thinking about using them for a while just to get the whatever it's called, medal, but after that I probably will never touch them again.
Yeah, I think the Coyote missiles might be something you should look into, though. I think it might be an interesting tactic.
I have used them on the test server a bit, and they're okay. However, I was able to just dodge them. So I don't know how...
Like outmaneuver them or something?
Yeah, I was in a close-up dogfight with someone, and this was actually with the reverse maneuver nerf they were thinking of using.
Right.
I was still able to outfly the missiles.
Cool. Well, that's good to know. At least you know, our experienced pilots out there know exactly what you're talking about, I'm sure. Some of the new pilots like me and a Reaver, I probably couldn't outfly a rocket, you know. I just pop a flare. You know?
Yeah, flares always help.
Yeah. So do you have anything else to add to your favorite vehicle or anything else in general?
Well, for a new pilot, I would say go into the test, or not the test server, but the VR, and fly around with each of the 3 frames maxed out. Pick which one you like, because frames are 100% personal preference. Then, if you're looking at the air-to-air missiles versus fuel tanks versus rocket pods, I would definitely suggest not using air-to-air missiles, as a lot of times people will start to rely on them too much, and then you just don't get the nose gun accuracy. If you want to do air-to-ground, definitely pick up rocket pods. They're not as good as they used to be versus infantry, but they're still good versus tanks. And versus infantry, you can just nose gun them easily.
Yeah.
For the defense slot, right now the only real viable options, in my opinion, are the nanites or stealth. Nanites are nice because I've had fights where I'll get into a fight half health, and by the end of it I'm full health because they can't hit me. As for a major tactic on how new people can learn, I would definitely have to say go to YouTube. Look up the many, many good videos, like by Spider Far is some of my favorite. They will teach you everything I know how to do, and from there, just practice, practice, practice.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. I think that's one of the best ways to learn. Just go out and research it. Check out the Outfit X channel. We have videos on there that, you know, there's some tactics on there you may pick up. It may not be vehicle related, but YouTube is a good way to learn. You know, you're not going to learn by watching. You're going to have to get in the game and do it also.
Yep.
I mean, just because you watch a video doesn't mean you're going to be a pro after that. So practice makes perfect, because I'm sure when Solex started flying, he wasn't the best until he got into probably a million Reavers by now.
The general consensus is until you hit about 150 hours in the air, you won't stand a chance.
Yeah, definitely. I think the same goes with any class. If you're not used to playing a class and you're jumping around, you're never going to get good. I think you should all focus on one particular class, one particular vehicle, get good at it, then move on. It's the best way to play a game like this.
That's why I actually have started branching out from medic to play heavy assault and light assault, but still mostly play medic.
Yeah, well, that's good. At least you're trying to be versatile, you know, and that's what we like in the outfit too. So I think we've covered, you know, a lot of the topics that I wanted to cover today. Since we did not have a game update, like I said earlier, we did not have any content discussion, new content discussion, because we didn't get a game update this week. So hopefully next week or the following week we'll see a game update come out for Planetside 2, and hopefully it'll have some interesting stuff for us. I'd also like to mention that if you guys ever have any questions for us and, the podcast, you'd like to have a topic for us to discuss, definitely stop by our website, which is www.outfit-x.com. You can reach us through Twitter. Our username is @OutfitX. And we do have a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OutfitX, and that's what I mentioned earlier. If any of you new players out there are new to the game, or you're wondering, what it feels like to play with a team, we don't expect you to join our outfit, but you can definitely join us, run with us, give us a try, and see how how it feels to run with us. And all of our information is on our website. So if you guys have any questions or you want to learn how to play, hop on, join a squad, and let us teach you a couple of things, and maybe potentially we could recruit you to the outfit, and you could be running with a decent team. Painted, do you have any closing thoughts for the episode today, or any words of wisdom?
Yeah, sure. Solix mentioned the auto repair. What is it called?
Nanite auto repair?
Yeah, the nanite armor repair. Yeah. That is the only thing to use on a lightning, because that thing heals your lightning so fast that if you're using anything else, you're wasting your time. You need to put your nanite armor repair on your lightning.
Oh yeah, I agree. Definitely. Nanite auto repair.
I think it's about the same for Harasser as well.
I think so.
Yeah, and aircraft too, I think. All aircraft, pretty much. Solix, do you have any closing thoughts for us today? Any words of wisdom or answers, questions?
Trees are overpowered.
For the aircraft, huh? They need to nerf trees.
Yes.
Invisible towers.
Yeah, I'll be sure. Yeah, I'll be sure to send an email and let them know that trees are overpowered. That'd be funny. They start shrinking trees down because of that email.
Right. Or make trees destructible.
Cool. And like I said, we usually do have an interview with our episodes here, but since we had Kingdeke and Solix join us today, I think that counts for our interview. And once again, Solix and Deke, we do appreciate you guys in the outfit. We do appreciate you joining us this evening and helping us make our number 6 episode.
I appreciate you having me be here.
Cool, man. Hopefully we can do it again.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Well, Painted and Solix, I guess we will see you in the game. And to everyone out there, keep kicking ass and join the NC.
See you guys later.
Hasta luego.
All right, have a good one.